Have you ever paused to ask why, despite India's ancient wisdom and legendary warriors, foreign powers ruled for centuries? Why didn't powerful Indian kingdoms unite to drive out invaders, whether the Mughals or the British? Even with immense wealth and epic traditions, India was repeatedly conquered. How could this happen? To find real answers, let's set aside nostalgia and use pure logic, just as the Nyaya Shastra and Artha Shastra taught. We'll break it down step by step, using reason, not just pride, to uncover the real story behind India's past. Ready? Let's begin our logical journey through history. The first logical step. India was never a single united country in ancient times. Instead, it was a patchwork of rival kingdoms, each with its own ruler, army, and ambitions. While one king defended his land from invaders in the north, others in the south or east were busy fighting their own neighbors. There was no single command, no shared strategy, just constant rivalry and shifting alliances. So when the British and other outsiders arrived, they found a land divided. Marathas, Rajputs, Nizams, Sikhs, each group focused on its own interests, not on unity. With everyone divided, foreign powers could play one side against another, making conquest much easier. Disunity was the perfect opening for outsiders to take control. Next, internal betrayals made disunity even worse. Rival kings often saw each other as bigger threats than the invaders themselves. We had legends, Maharana Pratap, Shivaji, Rani Lakshmibai, who fought bravely for their people. But their resistance was often local, short-lived, and unsupported by neighboring rulers. Sometimes, Indian kings even betrayed each other, allying with outsiders to defeat their own rivals. Some even invited the British to help settle their own disputes, handing outsiders the keys to power. In the end, these betrayals made it easy for invaders to divide, conquer, and rule. Third, many Indians believed new rulers were just another passing phase, one more wave in a long history of change. For centuries, kings and dynasties rose and fell, so when the British or Mughals arrived, many assumed they'd eventually leave too. This belief, combined with disunity and betrayals, meant resistance was slow and scattered. By the time people realized this was systematic colonization, not just another ruler, it was too late. The window for united resistance had closed. Fourth, India's deep-rooted spiritual tolerance, seeing the divine in everyone, shaped our response to outsiders. Traditions like Atithi Devo Bhava, the guest is God, meant we welcomed newcomers with open arms. But this openness sometimes slowed resistance, as we hesitated to see outsiders as threats. We welcomed traders like the British East India Company, not realizing their ambitions went far beyond trade. By the time we realized they were here to rule, not just visit, it was already too late. Another key reason was the clash of fighting styles. Indian kings and warriors followed ancient codes, honor, fairness, and open battle. But the invaders, especially the British, used whatever worked: guns, spies, bribes, and strict discipline. No rules, just results. Their system was centralized, documented, and ruthless, while Indian resistance was local, traditional, and often uncoordinated. Revolts did break out across India: 1857, Maratha Wars, Mysore, Sikh rebellions, and countless tribal uprisings. But each was isolated, fighting alone, often unaware or unsupported by others. Betrayals, rivalries, and lack of unity meant these revolts were easily crushed. Without a unified command, even the bravest efforts could not succeed. So after all these reasons, what's the real answer to our opening question? The lesson is simple. Wisdom and courage alone are not enough. Without unity and strategy, even the greatest civilizations can be divided and ruled. True power comes from organizing, planning, and working together toward a common goal. If we want real change today, we must combine ethics with unity, strategy, and technology. Only then can our ancient wisdom become real Shakti, real power for the future. That is how we turn knowledge into strength and dreams into reality. True power.